Hello and welcome back to our channel Motion Trainer. Mark Wahlberg is approaching a time in his life when leaving his kids behind because of months-long movie shootings is becoming increasingly difficult, which underlines why the actor claims his Hollywood journey is drawing to a close. And that's exactly what we'll be talking about in this video. Let's get started. The 50-year-old artist, in a conversation with Cassie DeLaura, representing the ET about faith, family, and his prolific career as an actor as well as producer. This happened in Boston at a hometown screening for his recent movie, Father Stu. Father Stu is Wahlberg's labor of love, based on the life of a washed-up boxer who happens to find greater meaning as a priest. Wahlberg seems to be a devout Catholic who is a father of four. He says he's walking a fine line between instilling his faith in his teenage kids and not even being forceful. And it's films like Father Stu, which are soaked in depth, that get Wahlberg excited these days. On April 7, 2022, Mark Wahlberg attended a Father Stu showing in New York City at the Sheen Center. Wahlberg plays Stuart Long, who is shown as an amateur boxer turned priest with a degenerative as well as incurable muscle condition in Father Stu. The tale is based on the true story of Father Stuart Long, someone who relied on faith in the face of adversity. Unfortunately, Long died in 2014 at the age of 50. Wahlberg, who is a devoted Catholic, is not just acting but also producing the film. Wahlberg also intimated that he may be leaving Hollywood sooner rather than later. Not long ago, Wahlberg went on Today and spoke about his faith. He said that he felt like this was the beginning of a new phase for him, and in that he can now help people by doing something like this. Actual substance, he remarked. He further goes on to say that he would like to concentrate on producing more, and that he wouldn't say solely faith-based content, but rather things which will benefit people. So ideally, this film will pave the way for himself and many others in Hollywood to create more relevant content. When questioned when he'll realize it's necessary to exit Hollywood's camera flashes, Wahlberg intimated that it is really not far away. Probably sooner rather than later, Wahlberg replied. Wahlberg, who resorted to extraordinary measures to prepare for the role physically, said that it's difficult to leave his family home, so whatever job beckons him next must have a strong gravitational pull. He later described just what this particular phase of his career seemed like and his rising expectations for new ventures. "It's gotta be something great to get me truly, to leave home, to leave those kids behind," Wahlberg remarked, continuing, "because it was the greatest sacrifice in the making for sure." He has 4 teenage kids. Wahlberg's screen debut in 1994 with the film Renaissance Man, wherein he co-starred with Danny DeVito. He played the lead in films including 2001's Planet of the Apes, The Departed, and The Italian Job. After that, he began producing blockbuster shows such as HBO's Entourage, which aired for 8 seasons from 2004 to 2011. The show had been partly inspired by Wahlberg's Hollywood experiences as well as antics. Further, with Wahlberg's approaching the 1-year anniversary of their mother Alma's passing in April, he also discussed how Jackie Weaver, who played the role of his mother in Father Stu, was essential in helping him cope with his mom's death when the film was being made. He remarked that she was always someone I could rely on when I lost my mother during the film. It was just great to have her present and her support. She's a one-of-a-kind individual. Wahlberg's faith, combined with his representation of a person who oozed grace, enabled him to get over his grief. Stu's ability to deal with hardship with so much grace and dignity has absolutely encouraged me to simply focus on the positive things and cherish all the lovely times, Wahlberg added. Even in her most painful and vulnerable moments, my mother was incredibly strong. She simply intended us to be okay, and if we're fortunate enough to live a long and healthy life, we'll all face difficult situations, as well as how we deal with them and accept them, as well as recognize and appreciate the good in others, is what matters. Everyone who sees this film is touched by it because we're all experiencing and going through something, he remarked. These are challenging times, and to have a platform where we are able to share this with others and tell them that things will just get better. We've got to join hands and encourage one another, he said. One thing that I like the most about him is his passion for the greater good and his entire perspective on life that can be clearly deciphered from the kind of movies that he does, as well as from his bits from the interview. So this is all about Mark Wahlberg and the fact that he might leave Hollywood for good. Comment and let me know your favorite movie of his.